Hi. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing out there? This is Mark. From what show? From what show is this? City Lights, City Streets? Is this City Lights, City Streets? Yes, it is. And I'm Mark. Glad you can make it, old friend. Now we come over here and sit down. We have to double check everything, make sure everything's working okay. All right, is that all right? Is that okay? All right. But this is Mark, the City Lights, City Streets. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. You know, I had a lot of friends that called me and asked me, Mark, what are you doing over here on the show? What's the point? Well, you know what the point is. The point is, you say a few things over here and you hope people get them. Like freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. Excuse me while I put my sunglasses on. Kind of bright today. Very nice cigar over here. There's Mark. There's City Lights. City Streets. See, it's going to be an hour show. See the cigar? It's a good one. Garcia Vega. Did you see on the last show I had a radio on? That was pretty good, huh? Okay. See if we can get something now. And hello, this is Dr. Harvey Rubin, and with all your medical needs. Well, that was me. That was my voice on the last show. But anyway, if you didn't see the last show, it was pretty good. All right, thank you. But this is Mark. And we're on at 12 o'clock Wednesday and Thursday night. And we're just doing our thing here. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. A while back someone said, Mark, what was your show about? And I said, about different things, And they asked me too. I said, well, I think I'm going to quit the show. And they said, no, don't quit. At least one person a week tells me not to quit the show. They like it so much. I don't understand that at all. But what are you going to do? You know what? I heard Bill Clinton was in a restaurant the other day with Al Gore, and the waitress came up and said, Mr. President, what would you like for dinner? And he said, I'll take a quickie. And the waitress stormed off and says, well, when you make up your mind what's on the menu, then I'll come back and take your order. And she stormed off, and Al Gore pulled Bill Clinton over and said, Bill, you pronounce that quiche. That was titillating, wasn't it? Can I say that? Titillating? I think I can. Titillating. Yeah, it feels good. Titillates me. Yeah. But this is Mark, and this is what show? Oh, you know it already. See that I don't have to tell you. It's about time. But I got some notes here. I'm going to take a break now. So if you want to go get a sandwich or something, go ahead. coffee. As if you didn't know. Let's see what's going on in the newspaper today. I got the Lemon Times here. Hey, Lemon Times. The Lemon Times, everything's fit to print, you know? It's like almost like the Old Colony Memorial, you know? There's a reason why they call it the Old Colony, you know? Been around a long time. Nothing in the paper. Let's see, lights, city streets. And I'm going to, right now I'm going to define what obscenity is. I told you in the other shows that the United States Senate, the House of Representatives, wanted to outlaw the F word. They wanted to make it a misdemeanor, so if you called someone that on the highway or something, they could arrest you. They wanted to outlaw that word. But I say use it. Because freedom of speech, use it or lose it. They want to start making words illegal now. Gosh. It's unbelievable. So on this show I'm going to define what obscenity is. So wake up and hear what I have to say. If you're a little bit queasy about this subject, well, why don't you turn it off right now? I'm going to define what obscenity is. But first, I'd like to say a few things, say a few words. Freedom of speech, use it or lose it. This is Mark, and this is City Lights, City Streets presents What is Obscene? We'll get into that later. But you know, old friend, we've been searching for the meaning of life for a long time now. Through the highways and through the byways, through the eternal mist of spiritualism, we went on this life's journey together. What is the meaning of life? Where I got that title was from a book by a Jewish psychiatrist during World War II. He was in the concentration camps in Auschwitz. And when he came out, he wrote this book, In the Search for the Meaning of Life. His name is Viktor Frankl. Pick it up, it's a good book. And in it, he says he was trying to find out what people were really like inside, and if the camps had changed them at all in any way. And he gave an analogy, and it goes something like this. He said when the liberators came to liberate them at Auschwitz, there were people that were so emaciated, bony fragments of a human skeleton, that they crawled out on their hands and knees and they couldn't believe the gate was finally open. Then there were others that staggered out, standing up, looking at the sun with no gates or barbed wire around it, looking at the sun for the first time without a gate or a guard standing there. They were just amazed at the sun. And then there was this giant wheat field, which is analogous to the staff of life, which is bread, and wheat is made into bread. And there was some that walked out of the concentration camp, staggered out, and saw the wheat field, and they just were so ecstatic they ran through the wheat fields and trampled the wheat grass, a symbol of life, eternal staff of life. And they just trampled that wheatgrass. So the stuff that they trampled, they couldn't make wheat out of it. It got ground into the dirt. And that was one of the guys that ran out. Then there was another person that came out and looked at the sun and looked at the wheatgrass and walked up to the wheatgrass and held it so gently and looked at it, at the amazement of such a beautiful thing because they hadn't eaten in so long. And his question in the book was, what personality are you? But this is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. And in Bombay, India, they believe in reincarnation. Yeah, in India, you know, well, all of India, Bombay or whatever. You want me to take my glasses off? Would that be better for you? All right. You like that now? Okay, thank you. In India, they believe in reincarnation, you know. And they believe that your soul doesn't end, but is always reborn into something else. So don't swat that fruit fly. That could be Uncle Bob, you know. Or don't kill that green bottleneck fly, you know. That could be Auntie Mary, you know. She always liked fruit. But they think that the meaning of life is reincarnation, that if they do good in this life, that they're going to come back as something else in the next life. In India, there are people that sit by the road naked in one spot for 20 years, naked. And the only sustenance that they get is from passerbys that provide them with food and water. And in return, the naked guru, if you want to call him that, gives some sort of advice to the provider. And they're supposed to be very holy men, you know? Naked holy men. Sheesh. Imagine that in church. You go to church, come on, honey. Boy, that would boost up attendance, huh? A couple of preachers going nude. Also in India, you know, like, the reason why I'm saying this is because other countries and other cultures are different from the United States. But, however, I want to bring these points out because they're not really that different. In India, I read in the newspaper that there's a guy walks around with a long metal rod like this. Yay big. It's got a little shovel on the end of it. And he goes around asking people if they want their ears cleaned for a nickel. That's a good price, actually. I figure that's 2.5 cents an ear canal. Ain't bad. Well, my only problem is with that is that what if, you know, Q-tips come to India, you know, and put that guy out of a job? Then we'll have to go off into some other profession like toe jam removal or something, you know. It's a little bit more complicated profession, but I'm sure he'll work it out. But, you know, in the search for the meaning of life, I was reading this book titled Dictionary of Cults, Religions, and the Occult. It was a dictionary of religion, basically. A dictionary, you know, it defines what the religions are. And I found a very upsetting passage in this dictionary of religion. It had to do with the Mormons. The book is called, again, Dictionary of Cults, Religions, and the Occult by a George A. Mather and a Larry A. Nichols. And on page 15, and I quote, they're talking about Mormonism in their beliefs and how it all started. It says, I quote, when it comes to the incarnation of Jesus, though presently denied, the Mormon Church once taught that Jesus was not conceived by the Holy Spirit, but by Adam. Thus, Mary had intercourse with own father, implying that Jesus was the product of an incestuous relationship. How do you like those bag of coconuts? This is City Lights, City Streets, and that was an actual book I read. I had some friends over. Well, they were relatives, you know, nephews and stuff, watching the Super Bowl game, you know. And they said, Mark, we love your show, but don't be so serious, you know. They wanted me to do funny things, you know. And I thought about it, and I said, well, what do you want me to do? I said, what do you want me to do, cook my cat? And he said, yeah, that'd be funny. So we were going to, like, you know, I was going to cook the cat, you know, that'd be funny, and I'll put him in the oven, you know, but not really, but and then take him out, you know, to be like a roasted bird, you know. But I figure I'd try to be a little serious once in a while. Kids need laughter because they see all the adults that are way down with mortgages and problems. But, you know, laughter is a good thing for kids. But for adults, they need entertainment. There's, you know, it's seriousness every now and then, too. But what I don't understand is, in China, they can eat dogs, but in America, you can't. It's illegal. Yeah? Don't tell me some Chinaman in Boston or something isn't eating a dog right now, you know? And this is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. That's a tiny one, huh? Would you like to be on camera? It's a local cable show? All right, and okay, let me just, we have a gentleman here. We were talking about dogs just earlier, and let me just get this set up, sir. If you want to stand right there, yeah, and we're gonna widen the lens here, and oh, that's a cute one. That's perfect. And do you mind me smoking? Hi, this is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. And what's your name?
My name's Julio.
Julio, nice to see you, man. Pretty good.
This is Slinky.
Hi, Slinky. And what kind of dog is it?
Slinky's Dotson. He's 15 weeks old.
Oh, he's just a baby one.
Yeah, just a little one.
Yeah, did you see the Westminster Dog Show the other night?
I briefly watched it on TV. I was working on that.
Oh, yeah. They keep replaying it, you know.
Yeah,
Julio.
they play it a lot.
But that's a cute dog. Are you from the Plymouth area?
I'm a firefighter in Bourne full-time.
Oh, good for you. You're a hero in many people's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes anyway. He's a
Good
firefighter.
job.
How do you like that in Bourne? Now, we have a show in Bourne that you might want to check that out. It's called Mo and Mark.
Oh, really?
And I do it with a Bourne a resident over there.
Okay.
And you might want to check that out. It's called Mo and Mark. And usually Mo's here and you'd be playing this in Bourne. But he's a firefighter. Oh, look at that dog. Now, is it true that the Dalmatians are half blind?
I really don't know. I know the only thing I really know about Dalmatians is some of them are really temperamental when it comes to kids.
Temperamental.
Yeah, when it comes to kids.
When it comes to kids.
Yeah, but I really don't know too much about that breed.
Yeah.
I suppose I should, but I don't.
Yeah. But so it's your day off now from the firefighting. And
Right.
are many fires in Bourne? Or?
No, we do ambulance calls, and we man an ambulance, and we do we do firefighting too, whichever call comes in first.
Yeah, well, I had a serious health question for you, safety question. Now, I read in the paper the other day that there was an accident on the highway and some people stopped and then they were killed. What's a good thing for the passerby to do when there's an accident? What should they do?
Well, I mean, you always want to help the people that are there. I can understand that, but you can't. Same with us. I mean, we don't put ourselves in jeopardy to save somebody else. We try not to. This morning we had a car accident in Sagamore, and I stopped by the ambulance, and there was a lot of people off to the side of the road. And you just got to be careful with where you are. We don't want to jump out of the ambulance real quick or the engine real quick and not know what's behind us. I mean, you just got to be really, really careful.
So
I mean, it's hard. I shouldn't say. I'm not saying you should just drive. You should drive by, but you know, when you get out and try to help somebody, just be careful.
Just be very careful.
Yeah, just be very.
Pull
very
off the
careful.
side of the road and make sure that you look before you get out.
Oh, definitely.
Because did you hear about that nurse and the daughter and they got killed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just happened recently. That's an awful thing.
Yeah.
But you know, on my show, this is called City Lights, City Streets, and what's the dog's name?
Slinky.
Oh yeah, Slinky. Hi, Slinky.
He's getting a little
He's
antsy.
pretty.
He wants to go for a walk.
Okay, well I'll let you go, but I
Okay.
just want to say one more thing, that on City Lights, City Streets, we do comedy, drama, and music. And today's a little bit of both, but just earlier I was talking about in China they can eat dogs, but in America you can't.
Right.
And he came by and I said, gee, you look like the perfect lunch.
Probably would.
We could go fit right in a nice sandwich, right, Julio? Well, thanks for being on,
Thank you
Julio.
much. Thank you very
And
much.
I'll
Have
see
a
you.
nice day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let's go for a walk.
And that was a firefighter, Julio from Bourne. Wasn't he good? He had a little dog, Slinky. We'll try to get Slinky on the camera now. He'd be a nice lunch, wouldn't he? That would be tasty, right there. This is Mark. This is City Lights, City Streets. And I hope I didn't get myself out of focus here. I gotta check the focus, folks. In my show, I do everything. Are you kidding? I'm the producer, I'm the writer, I'm the host, I'm the interviewer, I'm the camera person, I'm the edit person, with a lot of help from Pack TV. Thank you, Pack TV members. They do a great job over there. Dan does a wonderful job. Dave too. They all do. And this is Sea Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. And I'm Mark. And I was talking about the meaning of life and talking about dogs, and what came by? Lunch. If I had some mustard or something, I'd grab myself a little wiener like that. He looked tasty, didn't he? You know, you notice that when I said to him that I was talking about dogs in China, how they eat dogs in China but not in America, you could see that Slinky started getting a little nervous there, you know? And so did his owner. See how they took off? They thought I was going to dog nap them and eat them. Sheesh. Heck, if you want to eat dog hindquarters and cat hindquarters, go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I swear those bones. You ever eat Kentucky Fried Chicken? You know, first of all, anything that comes in a bucket, you got to wonder, you know? It's like, give me a bucket of chicken. Like, a bucket of chicken. You got it, buddy. You know? And then you eat it, and then it's like all like skin and fat and stuff. And then the bones. I've been a cook for 18 years. I've never seen bones like that in a chicken before. They're all this way and that way, you know? The bones go, yeah, kind of look like a dog or a cat, if you ask me. Sheesh. But this is Sea Lights, City Streets. And I was saying, I want to take a break now. That was a lot of hard work. I'm out here for you, remember. I'm not here for me. I'm here for you. You want to be entertained. You want to be enlightened some way or another. Okay. We got a show and a half today, let me tell you. I got it all here in this book. This is about a month's preparation. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. Put my glasses back on. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Steve. Daryl. Brian, how are you? Gonna go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get a bucket of cat's hindquarters, huh? Tasty. All right.
Tomorrow will be better.
Huh?
Tomorrow will be warmer.
Yeah. Guy was saying tomorrow's gonna be warmer. For some reason, I believe him. He had a robe on and was carrying a cross. All right, thank you. Anyway, this is Mark, and this is. Oh, you know what this is, huh? Yeah, because you see the cigar, you see me. Hi. If you want to be on the show and you want to help with the show production, you can write. Get a pen, and or just remember it. Write P.O. Box 1503, Manamet, Massachusetts, 02345, America's hometown. We're over here at the Pilgrim Waterfront. I don't see any pilgrims coming. I guess they already came over. They're not letting any more in. We got enough of them. Let's see, lights. Pilgrims are okay. All right. What is obscenity? What is obscenity? Freedom of speech, use it or lose it. You know, my question is, your freedom of speech, use it or lose it. And they say, well, there's one thing you can't do. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater, you know. Like, what if there was a fire, you know? What do you run around and yell, water, water, water? And then they'll say, why? What do you need water for? There's a fire. Oh, arrest them. But what do you do when the theater is actually on fire? Can you, what do you do, spell it out? Sheesh. an hour show. This is 20 minutes gone by so far, because you can tell by my cigar, right, Wes? Wes James, I want to thank you the other day for being my fishing buddy. Boy, we told a lot of fish stories then, didn't we? But we talked about the Girls and Boys Club and how you should donate money towards them, and I think you should do that. And at Handlebar Harry's on February 28th, you can go down there and see 4 or 5 bands. It's going to be a wonderful show, and you should go down there and do that for the Boys and Girls Club of Plymouth, Massachusetts at Handlebar Harry's on the 28th of February. What is obscenity? Is it the F word? Nah. Is that all those other dirty words that we can't say? Nah. Obscenity is when children are physically or mentally abused. That's obscenity. It's obscenity when a teacher in school yells at a child or raises their voice at a child. That's obscenity. I had a teacher, I was in the 7th grade, and we used to be mean kids, boy. But we had this one teacher, and she said, well, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to raise my voice. If you do anything wrong, right down to the principal's office. And she also said that if you don't want to pay attention in class, that's fine. Just keep your mouth shut, and the final exam will be 75% of your final grade. So we respected her, and she respected us, and we learned something. Then on the other hand, I had a Spanish teacher that she used to come in there like gangbusters. No matter what we said, she used to scream and yell on top of her lungs at us, you know. We didn't even learn anything. She was a complete idiot. You don't go yelling at kids. You're supposed to set an example. That's obscenity. Teachers that don't care. They're building all these new schools in Plymouth. Well, what good is that? The teachers are just jerks. And come on, let's face it, 75% of them are, but the ones that watch this show aren't. 25% of them are good, And if you're a teacher out there, you're in the 25%. You know what I mean? You're a good teacher. You know what I'm saying? It's the other teacher that's bad. But try a little kindness. You know what obscenity is? Obscenity is when justice is equal to how much you have in your bank account. Look at O.J. Simpson. He got off. He had millions and millions of dollars. He murdered somebody, 2 people, and he got off. Murder. Then you got someone like John Gotti, the gangster, mafioso in New York City. And they used to call him the Teflon Don because every time he went to court, he won. Well, about the 5th time they took him to court, the judge said to him, you can't have that lawyer that you had before that won all the other times. So that he was appointed, he got another lawyer and they lost. Now he's in jail. I guess he had a lot of money too, but if the government wants to get you, they're going to get you. That's the one thing. If the government wants to get you, they'll get you. Doesn't matter how much money you have. But with OJ, what difference does it make? Obscenity is when doctors take advantage of the sick by misdiagnosing the problems. They'd rather have quantity care than quality care. The more people that go through that office is the more money they make. We should have socialized medicine, for crying out loud. 35% of the doctors are good. The other 65%, who needs you? That's obscenity. Obscenity is when restaurants serve spoiled food. That's obscenity. Probably 70% of the restaurants that I've worked in have one time or another knowingly served bad food and constantly pick up stuff off the ground, off the floor after it's cooked to put on a plate. That happens all the time. And of course not in some of these restaurants, but most of them it does. So the best thing I could say is when you go to a restaurant, you can protect yourself by asking to see the food before it's prepared. Like if you're going to order a steak or a sirloin or a piece of fish, say, could I see it before it's cooked? Of course they want to oblige you, so they're going to bring it out and show it to you, and they're going to bring you out a nice piece. They're not going to bring you out some awful piece that's 5 days old. So you're going to pretty much assure yourself that you're going to get a good piece of meat or fish, especially when you know you're onto them. I worked at a place once. The vice president of the company, it's a local restaurant over here somewhere in Plymouth. You can take a guess of which one it is. And I worked there for 6 months. And the vice president, they own 20 restaurants in New England. And the vice president of the company itself actually got a box of fish and showed the manager how to defrost it. Now, this is the vice president of the company. He grabbed the box over his head and smacked it on the floor, and all the frozen pieces went all over the floor. And he said, now you just pick it up and put it on sheet pans. Now, that's the vice president of the company doing that. All right? Nice, huh? In this same restaurant where I used to work, I saw a manager. Now, a manager of the whole restaurant now. He's supposed to set an example for everybody, and he knows who he is. I was washing dishes one day, and he came over and got the brush that I was washing the pots and pans with, this giant brush, and he scrubbed his shoes with it. And I was in shock. You know, I was saying, he's scrubbing his shoes with this brush I'm washing the dishes with. And if that wasn't the icing on the cake, he takes the brush and looks at his shoes and says, that's fine. I see him do this 3 times in the course of about a month. And he says, well, that's fine. Now my shoes are fine. And he threw the brush back in the sink where I was washing the pots and pans. That's obscene. That's obscene when restaurants disrespect the public like that. They used to prepare raw food with their hands and not wash them. I rarely saw anybody wash their hands. I wash them all the time. I'm not going to poison somebody. I got kids. You know, I got a grandmother. You know, I wash my hands. Those cooks, I never saw them wash their hands. I've seen them put their old scrubby, grubby hats on top of plates, which your dinner just went on after you ordered it. But this is city lights and city streets, and now that I've made dining out in Plymouth an appetizing affair, I think the health department should crack down on these people. I understand that the health department is understaffed. Well, hire me. I'll go in there and bust them all. You know? You don't make an appointment when you go ahead in a restaurant and say, well, we're going to be there, you know, at 9 o'clock in the morning. Be ready on Tuesday. You know, like, that's like the police calling up a drug house and saying, oh, by the way, guys, yeah, we're going to go bust you for drugs at 10 a.m. Friday morning, okay? We'll just let you know. But as far as I'm concerned, selling illegal drugs and ruining the public's trust and serving food that's been falling on the floor, that have been prepared wrong by contamination through chicken juice and fish juice, when hands not washed, hats on top of things, scrub brushes, scrubbing shoes, and food being picked up off the floor and put on the plate after it's cooked. That, to me, is just as bad as a drug runner. Because what you're doing is you're polluting someone else's body. And it should really be seriously looked into. I won't tell you what restaurant it is, but like I said, you could probably guess which one it is. It just opened up. It's a big one. And I can back up. I have diaries. I have quotes, statements, dates. Oh, I got everything. A lot of restaurants don't wash their lettuce when they make salads. They don't wash their tomatoes. They don't wash their cucumbers. All that gritty, grimy stuff that's on a cucumber, they don't wash them. They just slice them up and put them in a salad. All that E. coli that's in a lettuce, they don't wash the lettuce. Cut it up, put it in a salad. There ought to be a law against that, and there is. But they don't care. That's obscene. What's obscene is saying that you're a good Christian and then turn around and hate your neighbor or be vengeful. That's obscene. You know, you're not a Christian then. Get out, stay out of the church. It's obscene when religious leaders proclaim their God and their religion is the only religion. That's obscene. Don't tell me what to believe. Don't tell me I'm going to hell because your religion says that you better believe in that God or you're going to hell. That's obscene, man. Woman, clergy. Don't tell me who to believe in or what to believe in. George Carlin was on the Daily Show the other day. You know George Carlin. He said the 7 words you couldn't say on TV. I'd like to say them here, but why should I? You know what they are. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. Anyway, George Carlin said he about religion, not just one particular religion, but all religions, is you can pray to God half the time, and you can pray to God, or you can pray to the Empire State Buildings. It doesn't matter, because 50% of the time they're going to come true, and the other 50% they're not going to come true. So, he says, pray to the Empire State Building, Well, there are a lot of people on Madison Avenue that do that. They worship the dollar. That's obscene. So you religious people out there, don't tell me what to believe in. If you want to browbeat your parishioners, go ahead, but don't tell me that I'm doing wrong when I believe in different types of gods than yours. Jeez, get kind of sick of that. It's obscene when the Pope says don't use birth control. Instead, have babies out of wedlock so that they're born into poverty, neglect, and death. A child that's born into poverty ends up being tomorrow's murderer and rapist. That's a fact. For crying out loud, there are 50 million abortions a year. 30 million are legal and 20 million are illegal. That's USA Today. Fact. Now, what if there weren't 50 million abortions a year? There'd be a lot of extra people in the world, don't you think? Obscenity is when... Ooh, it's getting cold. Time for my break. Hi, how are you? Back again. It's Mark. Sea lights. City streets. This is about obscenity, this show, if you just tuned in. This is about obscenity. And I'm telling you what's obscene, so if you don't want to hear it, turn it off, please. About a half hour now. Gotta light my other one, so... Why don't I do that now? And this is City Lights, City Streets. My peace pipe. Let me check the time, hold on. A few more minutes. Well, not 20 minutes, it'll be an hour. Hello, are you out there? Are you listening to what I'm saying over here? Huh? You sure? Okay, just checking. Hey. Put that beer down. Don't drink beer. It's not good for you. Hey, don't go smacking that kid. Give him some respect. All right, let me check it out. Gonna have to go quick. That battery's running dead. All right. It's obscene. This is about obscenity. If you don't like it, change the channel. If you want to write to me, it'll be on the show. Write P.O. Box 1503, Manamet, Massachusetts 02345. That's City Lights, City Streets. I'm Mark in America's hometown where it all began. And what better place to say freedom of speech, use it or lose it, than in America's hometown where it all began. It's obscene when they have beer commercials that appeal to children, the frogs, you know. Beer commercials, you know. Beer is not good. Alcohol is not good. And alcohol companies should not be allowed to advertise to kids or on TV at all. Come on. It's obscene when the tobacco companies were selling low tar and nicotine cigarettes, but was actually spiking it with more tar and nicotine. So here are these poor souls that have been trying to get off cigarettes, turn around and end up smoking these low tar cigarette packages, which actually had double and triple the amount of nicotine in them. That's obscene, and that's a drug, and that's a poison, and they killed a lot of people that way. But that's obscene. Now, no one goes to jail for that. It's obscene when hospitals knowingly use AIDS-tainted blood. There have been a number of cases all over the world where someone was going to die, and they knowingly used AIDS-tainted blood. But I guess if you were going to die, it's better to have AIDS blood than no blood at all. But still, should they make that decision? Would you want that? Some guy just recently on TV, his wife, he was 72 years old, and his wife was somewhere around there, 70 years old, and she had cancer, and he shot her in the head with a gun and killed her, put her out of her misery, and they had him on TV, and they're going to put him in jail for manslaughter. And the commentator said to him, "Sir, did your wife ask you to shoot her or kill her?" And he said, "Well, no, not really." Like the stupid idiot, she's dead, you know. He could have said, "Yeah, she told me," you know. But now he's ended up probably going to jail. And rightfully so. If someone asks you to kill them, you know, don't go putting a gun up to their head. Give them some sleeping pills or whatever, you know what I mean? That's up to that individual. And if they're cowardly enough not to do it themselves, don't be part of that. You know, every person should take their own life if they want to. It's obscene when 40% of Americans don't have medical care. That's obscene. When a lot of other third world countries have medical care, socialized medicine, you know, that's obscene. You want obscenity. It ain't the F word, you know. That's obscene. It's obscene when hospitals don't keep the hospitals clean. That's obscene. There was this doctor, professor, writer, inventor, named Linus Pauling. He did tests on vitamin C back in the 40s, and he proved that it would postpone prostate cancer and a lot of other types of cancer for a long time. And he did these tests, and they were proven tests. And the doctors didn't like him too much because he was advocating vitamin C when they were advocating, come on in, we'll just keep you radiation treatments for thousands of dollars and stuff. But he was saying, no, you can prevent cancer by taking vitamin C. Well, anyway, he got the Nobel Peace Prize for it in medicine, for vitamin C. But while he was trying to prove his case, the doctors in the doctor community got his statistics about vitamin C and changed them, knowingly changed the amount of dosage and stuff. And so they completely changed his studies to make him look like an idiot. That's obscene. He said, and he was a doctor, he said, if you want to stay healthy and live a long life, stay away from doctors and hospitals. And he's right, because you go to the doctor, they're going to find something wrong with you. You know what I mean? Probably everybody in this whole world is carrying some sort of cancer around with them, you know, with all the preservatives and stuff. But it lays dormant, just like viruses in space lay dormant for billions of years, frozen. until something, upsets them and gets them going. But, stay out of hospitals and away from doctors unless you absolutely need them. You're bleeding to death or you got appendix or something. But, stay out of hospitals. I was in a hospital the other day. I took my daughter to a clinic over here in Plymouth somewhere. I won't say where. But I went into the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and they had a toilet seat that was like a half round. It didn't have a cover that covered the whole top, where the water is. And it's a known fact that if you don't put your toilet seat cover down and you flush the toilet, a fine mist of water is sprayed out of the toilet 10 feet around your toilet. So if you have toothbrushes or glasses or sinks or walls or towels, all that spray from the toilet and all the defecation that went in there and stuff, urination, is getting sprayed mist all over your bathroom. So always put the cover down. That's a known fact. That's why they have a seat cover for the toilet. But I went into this doctor's office, and they had a half round. They didn't have a seat cover. You know what I mean? Like the half round donuts there with no cover. So when you flush, all that stuff's going everywhere. Not only that, they had Dixie cups in there right there. And asked to give a urination sample in these Dixie cups. First of all, they're supposed to give you sterile cups, And second of all, if they had toilets like that and it sprays everywhere, what good is it then? And then you go into the office in the waiting room, and there's people like kids on the floor crawling around on the rug, and mucus on the armchairs, and kids are putting their hands everywhere and putting it in their mouth. Now, if a doctor or hospitals really want to be clean, they should make their waiting rooms clean. You know what I mean? There should be linoleum or tile, not rugs and upholstered chairs. There should be hard chairs and stuff. Bacteria is everywhere. The doctor, back in the 1800s, there was a doctor that said, you got to wash your hands. He was a doctor. I think his name was Sippleweiss. And he was a doctor, and he figured it out. He says people were surviving the operation, but they were dying from infection. And he came up with the idea that, hey, maybe we should wash our hands when we operate on these people. And sure enough, he proved that the reason the people survived the operation, but they didn't survive the virus and the bacteria that killed them, because the doctors weren't washing their hands. They were contaminating the patient's wounds. Now it's an accepted fact. Oh, wash your hands, scrub down, and all this stuff. They wear whole suits and everything. And but back then they didn't believe them, and they ridiculed them out of the doctor profession. They died in a gutter, a drunk vagabond. So that's really amazing how someone could, say something so obvious that, wash your hands before you touch it open, cut somebody open. But yet, and I'm saying the obvious now. Doctors' offices all around town, all over the world, they should rip up those carpets, get rid of the upholstery, have a clean floor, go in there every 6 hours, 10 hours, and mop the place down, for crying out loud. Instead, they bunch up all these sick people in one room with kids crawling on the floor, putting their fingers in their mouth and stuff. I don't think the health professionals today, they don't care, because the sicker you are, the more money they make. $100 a whack. I took my daughter to the hospitals, and I paid $500, and they didn't even diagnose the problem. Well, I diagnosed it. It was just constipation, But yeah, I paid $500 and 3 different doctors, and they were telling us this was that and this and the other thing. Ridiculous. That's obscene. Gal, you out there? Come on the show, will you? There's one lone person looking at the Plymouth Rock. And what's obscene is terrorists. We know that. Terrorists that kill innocent people, that's obscene. You know what I mean? If you have a problem with the government, go kill them. They're the ones that start the problems. Don't kill innocent people. Sheesh. And the government hasn't changed in I don't know how many hundreds of years in America. The government should change its situation, right down from the local selectmen, politicians, to representatives, to the President of the United States. They're out of control, the American people did not want President Clinton impeached or any of that crap, but yet that went on and on and on and on and on and on. Well, you know, it's partisan politics and all that crap, right down from the local politicians right to the President of the United States. You know what I say? If there's a war to be had, if they want to send, you know, guns and bullets to Iraq, if they want to impeach the president, let's put a referendum out there. Have one vote, one person. You say to the public, we're going to have a special vote. And do you want us to bomb Iraq? Have everybody go to the polls. Give them 3 days off. Give them a weekend off with pay so that's their civic duty, so that they can all go vote. Make it easy for them. Have them vote. Do you want us to bomb Iraq? Yes, no. Simple, isn't it? Do you want us to impeach the president? Yes, no. Simple, isn't it? Now with the internet and the computers and everything, people could do it right from their home and vote. Yes, no. Do you want medical care socialized? Yes, no. People go out and vote, and they vote. Let the people vote. One person, one vote. Then we'll see some change. But once you have the kings and queens, the Kennedys, the Kerrys, and all these people up there filling their pockets with people's money and playing, you know, God, let the people vote. It's the same with the selectmen meetings at a local level. You know, if a building, a package store over here, or something wants to be built, or a restaurant, or they want an easement, one vote, one person, one vote. Do you know what I mean? Bring the power back to the people. Hell, I'll run for president. Probably get 2 votes, but I think that one vote, one problem. Have a problem in the United States government, local government. State what it is. Have a referendum. Have it once a week, once a month, and people vote. Yes, no. Simple as that. What's obscene is war. War is obscene. A barbaric practice to settle our differences. That's obscene. Hate is obscene. Archaic relics of past evolution. Hate. Revenge is obscene. Dogma is obscene. Believing in one thing and not changing your mind is obscene. Telling people what God that they should believe in is obscene. Let people leave them alone. This is Mark. This is City Lights. City Streets. Can I take another break? The government, the way it doesn't change with the times is obscene. You could have, like I said, one vote, one person, one vote. With the internet. Come on. It's obscene when people don't forgive each other. That's obscene. Dishonesty is obscene, even though honesty can get you in trouble. Dishonesty is obscene. Violence towards ourselves or others or animals is obscene. That's obscene. The F word isn't obscene. Words aren't obscene. It's the people using the words that are obscene in their beliefs. Freedom of speech. Use it or lose it. It's obscene when the people of America and the world don't demand that the AIDS virus be cured. They should demand that all resources go into the development of curing AIDS. That's obscene. And this is City Lights, City Streets. And racism is obscene. Come on, wake up. This is the 21st century, almost. You know, to dislike somebody because of their color, race, or religion, come on, get over it. There are people that believe in God. There are people that don't believe in God. There are people that believe in worshiping the devil. Let them. Who cares? As long as they don't tread on us and our beliefs. Homophobia is obscene, you know. People that are against homosexuals and stuff. That's obscene. Hell, let them be queer if they want to be queer. Who cares? Putting ketchup on eggs. Now that's obscene. Don't do that. Dental flossing your teeth in public is obscene. You know, I mentioned this before, that restaurant people that don't wash their hands and don't care about the public safety, that's obscene. I can't really drive that home enough, because I was in the restaurant business a long time, off and on, and I seen some awful things. Car dealers that lie about the car that they're representing is obscene. People that have dogs and don't pick up the animal waste later is obscene. The lady that started the Pooper Scooper law was in New York City. She was 85 years old, and she's got that Pooper Scooper law passed. She was 85 years old because she was in the park, Central Park, and the dogs were pooping everywhere, and the kids were touching it and coming down with deadly diseases that were killing them. And she had that law passed where you have to pick up your dog's stuff, and you should. On 60 Minutes, they had a story about the flesh-eating disease where the bacteria gets on your skin, and within 48 hours it starts to actually eat your skin away. And that originated in New Bedford, on a New Bedford sidewalk. A lady was walking on the street barefooted, and that's where it originated. That was 60 Minutes said that. And that just goes to show that when you're in a doctor's office, the people are walking in there with their dirty shoes on the rug and stuff, and bacteria is getting in the rug, and kids are walking, crawling on the floor and putting their fingers in their mouth. They could be getting any kind of diseases from that. And when they let children sit on the floor at schools and stuff, thousands of people are walking on that floor. That's obscene. Get the kids off the floor. This is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. Eating your neighbor is obscene. Cannibalism is obscene. Don't do that. Unless you put him in a nice butter sauce, you know what I mean? Hey, Jim, what's for dinner tonight? You? Oh, me? Yeah, you. Oh, will I be tasty? Oh, yeah, you're going to be tasty. Don't worry, we're going to put you in a nice butter sauce. You're not going to use pepper, are you? No pepper. Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, Jim, when you come over tonight, could you bring in some extra pants? You got a big ass. Junk food is obscene. It screws up your synapses in your brain, so you can't think straight. It's been a known fact that preservatives cause cancer. What do you think that fast food is? And one final thing, I think it's getting near that time. In response to any negative complaints about my show, City Lights, City Streets Presents, if a person calls and complains or writes me and complains about my show, that one person, even one person a week if they complain, I got 3 or 4 and 5 people a week telling me that it's a great show and I should keep up the good work. I have fans that are 12 years old and 70 years old and everything in between. People who complain are going to complain anyway. You know, that it doesn't matter. They're going to complain anyway, no matter what it is. They're complainers. But this is City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. And one more thing before I go. We should teach our kids about brand commercialism. Nike shoes, Tommy Hilfiger, and all that junk. They're just clothes. They don't make the person. Clothes do not make the person. It's what's inside that counts. If I can't reach the adults, or at least you kids out there, don't go buying clothes and Nike and all this. Revolt against that, because it's revolting. To say that just because you spent $100 for a pair of sneakers, you're better than somebody else. Well, you're not. You're just a complete idiot then. Goodness comes from the heart. But that's the City Lights, City Streets, and I'm Mark. Bye now. I hope you had a good time. I did. I'm doing this for you, man. And this is Sea Lights. City Streets. And I'm Mark. And I hope you had a good time. I welcome anybody that wants to come on the show, and if they want to say anything good or bad, I'm here. Freedom of speech, use it or lose it. Bye now.